What's going on, guys? This is the Kentucky Prime Sports Podcast. My name's Devin Hood, here with Gibbs, Stewart, Austin, and Tyler. We've got a little bit of Kentucky news to talk about tonight, right, guys?
Yes, sir.
A little bit of Kentucky football. We've got some scheduling updates potentially.
Yeah.
Moving to a new system for Kentucky football scheduling. Tyler, what are your thoughts about that? Give us a little recap on that.
From what I understand, we're looking at a little deal with the Big Ten, where we're going to play, I think, the equally ranked Big Ten opponent. I think it's going to flip every year, maybe. Also going to 9 SEC games, and then the conference championship game. The 1 and 2 is going to play each other, and then the 3 and 6 we're going to play each other, and the 4 and 5. So. I think the winner of those 3 games get the automatic bid to the college football playoff.
Yeah.
But I like it as far as getting in. Kentucky's ever going to have a chance, which we really don't know if that'll ever happen. But being the 6th ranked team in the SEC gives you a chance, and we've done that twice in the last 5-6 years.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and this is something not set in stone, as of yet. Well, they said on KSR, I think they're going to vote on it next week, maybe, or in the next, coming weeks. I think that gives good potential for new games we haven't seen.
Yep.
You're playing those Big Ten teams, opportunity maybe, go to Wisconsin. Wisconsin come to Lexington.
USC.
Yeah, the Big Ten is no longer just the North. USC, UCLA. Who else is in Rutgers?
Yeah, Rutgers.
Yeah, so there's a lot of good football possibilities. The one thing that I don't like about it, and I think a lot of Kentucky fans are going to feel the same way until maybe it happens, is if we move to this schedule, going to lose the Louisville game.
Yeah, probably definitely would lose the Louisville game. Just even though in the new setting, if they vote on the way it's proposed now, the non-conference games won't affect your college football playoff berth at all.
Yeah.
Like, no effect on it whatsoever. It doesn't matter if we beat Louisville by 1,000 or they beat us by 1,000. So, there's a little incentive to just go ahead and play it, but there's also an incentive to have those, 2 MAC games that are guaranteed home games. And Kentucky's not going to give up every other year a home game just to play Louisville.
Yeah, and that'll be the thing, too. Like you said, you give up the 2 MAC games that are guaranteed home games. You heard a lot of backlash this year about season tickets because, the season ticket price has gone up, but they've lost a home game. So now you're telling me I'm going to lose, potentially another home game on top of that. Season ticket prices obviously aren't going to go down. So that's going to be a tough position that Kentucky athletics is going to find themselves in.
Yeah, maybe you could do something like, play the game every year in Cincinnati or Nashville and just do 50-50 split between the 2 schools. But I just don't. It really is stupid to give up that revenue every year.
Yeah, that's going to be the thing. Money is what this is all going to come down to. And then moving to a 9-game SEC schedule. We've seen Kentucky this year only pull 1 out. Really makes you nervous adding more SEC teams to the schedule.
Yeah.
They're really going to have to right the ship on this one for sure.
Yeah.
Austin, Stewart, what do you guys think about the potential Kentucky-Louisville rival game going away for a little bit?
Yeah, it will kind of suck.
I agree with that, yeah.
It's always fun to watch.
Yeah, I think you need to have that. I don't know why.
Brings a ton of money to both schools.
Yeah. Which, I don't know if you all know off the top of your head, but there for a while, the Kentucky and Louisville didn't play. And then they had not recently, within the last few years, but they brought it back in the, early 2000s?
Yeah, I think it was early 2000s, maybe late 90s.
I'm trying to think right off the top of my head. I don't know, but there was a period in there where Kentucky and Louisville didn't play. I like seeing that game personally at the end of the year. How we've seen it in November. Really is a nice atmosphere. A cold weather game. I didn't like it whenever it was at the beginning of the year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It felt too.
Let the teams, play the whole season and
Yeah.
then be ready for it.
Exactly.
The programs are too close, like as in the state they're in right now, to play that game at the beginning of the year. The game means too much.
Yeah.
I think, whoever loses that's going to be down. That's going to be in the back of your head all year. At least for me, it would be, and it'd just be a sucky feeling all year. It just means more at the end of the year now.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I would rather than play at the beginning of the year than not at all, though.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that game, the Saturdays when Kentucky and Louisville play football or basketball, I mean, we're all ready to tear the house down.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what do you think about adding potential Big Ten opponents?
I think it'll give us a nice little break from SEC play and, possibly getting destroyed week in, week out. But at the same time, you're adding new beast to the mix. You don't know if it's going to be a great team, don't know if it's going to be awful. So there's always that chance that this game could just be another loss in the column, or could be a much needed win.
I mean, outside of the SEC, the Big Ten's been pretty solid as well.
Yeah, that'll be the thing. It's like, how do they match these up? Like Tyler said, is it going to be evenly matched teams, or are they just going to do a draw out of the hat thing?
They say it's going to be your even an evenly matched. Whoever the it'd be 1 versus 1 in the conference, 6 versus 6, 8 versus 8, whatever it is. So I imagine we're going to see a lot of Minnesota, Purdue.
Yeah,
well, that's not even a challenge at that point.
Somewhere in there. I mean, because I feel like we on average finish somewhere between 9th and 12th, somewhere in there. So that's about where those guys finish over there. So.
Purdue has a football team.
Yeah.
Purdue doesn't have. Hey, that's where your guy came from.
Crazy.
Can't disrespect the Boilermakers. No, I mean, I think that would be good. You'd hate to see Kentucky pull Michigan, Ohio State out of the hat. That wouldn't be very fun at all. But
Oregon?
Oregon. Which
That's
could
crazy.
you imagine the Oregon Ducks traveling to Lexington?
That'd
be a heck of a game.
It'd be a sight to see.
Yeah, I mean, we'd probably get beat by 60, but just seeing.
Still be cool.
I would go to that just to see Oregon's uniforms on Lexington, on the Kroger Field
in person.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
That would be wild. But if it'll be cool to see too. If this does end up happening, everybody always says if Kentucky was in insert conference here, they would be 9-3. They'd be 10-2. So it'll be really exciting to see how they match up against an opponent that we don't see every year like Louisville. If they do play Rutgers, Purdue, Minnesota.
We play Wisconsin next year, if that was the case.
We'd play Wisconsin next year.
That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, that'd be all right. Wisconsin, they're. Would you? Okay, I've got a question for you guys. Would you rather be? I won't say how Louisville was in the past because Scott Satterfield really did a number on you guys there for a little bit. But would you rather be how Kentucky is 7-5, pretty consistently, or would you rather be like Wisconsin, where one year it's hey, we can play Alabama in the Orange Bowl, and then the next year you're winning 2 games, 1 game. I feel like Wisconsin is just the perfect roller coaster of up and down.
Yeah.
What would you guys rather have being a fan of a program?
Consistently average or
just highs and lows, yeah.
I'd rather have the highs and lows.
I think so
probably.
too.
Being consistently bad, it's.
I mean, if you're 7-5, then
yeah, and
there's nothing to get excited about.
No.
Right.
And you're not going to be excited if you win 2 games, but just having every now and then just sneaking in and just being really good, yeah, that's
It
definitely
makes
worth
the
it.
seasons that you're awful
Yeah.
worth it.
Yeah, so in a 10-year
Give me a
span,
shot. Yeah.
in a 10-year span, you'd rather be, have a chance of 2 years winning 10, 11 games, and then the rest of it be under 5 wins?
I would say that only if we make the college football playoffs or something,
Yeah.
then it's yeah, I'm definitely.
Yeah, it's
give me
definitely
2
worth it.
years of college football playoffs and then mid for the next 8, I'm probably fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, there for a while, it was Wisconsin was hey, they could potentially be a problem.
Yeah.
And then they got drugged by Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
And it's since then, it's gosh, they've not really come back from that.
They were printing running backs for a while there.
They
NFL
were.
Star talent. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
It's crazy. Think about Stanford. I mean,
yeah.
whenever we were in high school, junior, senior year, the year after, you get Christian McCaffrey coming through.
Yeah.
Stanford, looked like they were about it.
Yeah.
And now you don't hear anything out of Stanford again.
No.
But that 1 year being a fan would be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, what do we really have to show for it for being mediocre for the last 5-6 years? Nothing.
Right. I feel you on that. I mean, we ain't done shit either.
Yeah.
But
bowls that
Yeah.
don't really.
Bowls don't really mean anything anymore if you're not in the playoffs.
Yeah, no bowls really mean I mean, you could be in the best bowl outside of the playoffs, but you're still a loser.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's the thing too. Like if the SEC goes to the schedule, obviously it's going to be it's going to affect the SEC. It's going to affect the Big Ten. The trickle down effect is going to happen. So it's going to get to the point like I could see them cutting bowls out almost altogether. Because if you've got your 1 and 2 seed in the SEC play for the conference championship, and then your 3 and 5 and your 4 and 6 play to see who's going to get the at-large bids, it's like you're taking up a lot of time in games right there. Just seeing who's getting to the playoffs. And then like this year, the 12-team expansion, those semifinal games were your big, 6 bowl games. Your Peach Bowl, your Fiesta Bowl, all that good stuff. So it's like, well, I'm not going to the Rose Bowl because that's one of the college football playoff games.
Yeah.
I'm not going to the Fiesta Bowl or whatever they call it these days. I'm not going to the, Citrus Bowl because that's one of the play-in games now.
You get to go to the Tony the Tiger Bowl.
Right. They're either going to have to, do away with the bowl games or change up the importance of them.
Yeah, make them actually worth something.
It's too big of a money grab. They want you to think it's important.
Yeah, like the Pop-Tarts Bowl this year. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to do that with the Gasparilla Bowl, and they're going to have to bring some excitement, some character into these bowl games if you want to get teams excited for that possibility being 6 and 6, 7 and 5, 8 and 4.
Yeah. 6 and 6 teams and stuff like that to get bowls. What's that really going to do for anybody?
Yeah.
No one's really going to care.
But at the same time, I do love December 13th. You're flipping through the TV. You're like, oh my gosh, Western Kentucky's playing Tulsa.
Yeah.
All right,
Hell yeah.
it's good to watch.
Yeah.
It means nothing for the actual
state of
progression
things.
It. Yeah.
Just an extra game, you get to watch your team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Selfishly, I'd like to just watch it.
Right.
Yeah.
Gosh, could you imagine going back? December 13th, like I said, Western's playing nobody. Like, what a time to be alive when all that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, moving into Kentucky basketball. Kentucky got the win this week, played Tuesday night. Was it Tuesday or Wednesday?
Wednesday.
It was Wednesday. Why did they switch it up on us?
I don't know. They've been like that the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
Last time Louisville played on a Wednesday, we played the next game on Sunday.
So that's weird.
Yeah.
We did play Saturday this week. But yeah, we in Kentucky we had a lot of snow this week. Nobody was in school. So Tuesday afternoon I'm thinking, hey, we got a game tonight. Turns out it was Wednesday. But Kentucky did get the win against Vanderbilt. Gib, what was the final score on that one? I know you got it pulled up.
82-61.
82-61. That was just what the doctor had ordered, is what I heard. I had a tough loss over the past weekend at Texas, a game that they led pretty much the entire 35 minutes. Prior to that, complete collapse we've seen in the last 4.5, 5 minutes. So this was a one that I thought coming in, Kentucky needed to, must win.
Yeah, this was definitely a must-win game. Started getting a little worried, though, them making that late first half run, kind of getting it close, getting it 40, 41. Made you think, okay, are we gonna sell this? Because we had a decent little lead in the first half.
Yeah, we did. I'm like you. I did get a little nervous going into halftime, 40-41. That I didn't like that at all.
If it was flipped around and we were down one, I would have definitely felt a lot worse. But having that 1 point advantage, just knowing coming out of the half, okay, we're in the lead right now.
Yeah.
Let's take it away.
Yeah. What's some things that stood out to you guys about the Vanderbilt game?
Defense.
Defense
was crazy. Pope talked today on his. I listened to his pre-Alabama radio conference, and was talking about how the last 5 games we're number 13 in the country in defense. We haven't been mentioned in that realm of anything all year, so that's a huge turnaround and shows that they're a little turning the focus up on that side of the ball. Because we played excellent defense against Vanderbilt in the second half. The guys looked like they were talking a lot more comfortable out there. So
for sure.
that was what stood out to me. Other than Amari really kind of coming into his own, it looks like Amari Williams down low, realizing that the force he can be. It kind of showed a little bit. And Carr coming back to close to 100% looked really good too.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the big thing, like Tyler said, defense. In the second half, Gibb only allowed 21 points. Is that right?
Yes, sir. It's a good stop.
Yeah, I mean, especially after you give up 40 in the first half, to go in the locker room, make that adjustment. That's a big time for sure.
For sure, going on some big runs, big stops. It was definitely a much needed. Hey, we're okay.
Yeah,
moment.
yeah. And obviously, this game played without Lamont Butler or Jackson Robinson. Kirk Reese obviously been out for the year as well. So I think it was really helpful to show the guys, hey, you all can score points and you can play defense with this depleted roster.
Yeah, so we can't guarantee that they're going to be back come March, come
SEC tournament time.
Tournament time, both tournaments.
Yeah.
So you got to say, hey, we got to figure out a way to make it work with the guys we have.
Yeah.
If Butler comes back, Robinson comes back, that's going to be a bonus on top. Because those guys are going to come in and command the team and lead us. But if we can show that, hey, we're good without them, gives you a lot more hope for a later run, a better run.
For sure. Well, let me ask you this since you bring that up, not knowing when we're going to have these guys back. If you could pick one of the two to get back and guarantee that they're going to be healthy through whatever tournament run you make, which one of those two guys are you picking for that?
I'm going to have to take Butler for the defense and just leading the offense.
Yeah? What do you think, Tyler?
Guards win in March, therefore I'm taking Jackson Robinson at this particular point in the season. Just his ability to score the ball. If his wrist is 100% healthy in this scenario, I'd definitely taken him. He can score the ball and he can play defense. He's probably our most athletic player as far as guards go, so he can play defense when he wants to. Most of his struggle on defense is just getting beat on screens and not switching.
Yeah.
But I would take Robinson in that scenario just because of how important scoring guards are in March.
Yeah. I think I'm going to agree with Gibb on this one. Just the defensive presence Lamont Butler brings, but also just, running the offense. Just getting the ball past half court sometimes with, love him, but Travis Perry, sometimes he looks like a scared freshman out there bringing the ball up. So, I'd hate to rely on Amari Williams to do that all the time. I'll take Owe. So I think Lamont Butler getting the ball past half court is huge. And then, we see in the Louisville game, he can get hot.
Mm-hmm.
He can drop points as well.
Yeah.
We've talked about it a few times. Whenever he was healthy, his offensive abilities, were super impressive considering that all summer we heard this is going to be your defensive-minded guard.
For sure. But somebody that also drops a point that I was really impressed with their performance was Owe.
I'll take Owe.
Doing a lot of driving in, getting a lot of and one calls, getting a few fouls, showing, hey, we can still go downhill if our shots aren't falling. And there for a minute, we couldn't hit a three, we couldn't hit a mid-range two. So we had to find a way to get it in the paint and get some scores.
Yeah, for sure. I think Otega Owe's game has completely changed from the beginning of the season to now.
Mm-hmm.
I may be wrong, but I feel like at the beginning of the season he was taking open shots when he had them from three.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
He's completely abandoned that. He's lost all confidence in his jump shot, whatever. But I think that slashing, get to the basket play that he's really developed, brings a different dynamic to this team, where it's hey, we've got to guard the inside and the outside now.
Yeah.
And him doing that opened up Brea on the wing, the corner.
Yeah.
And it opened up other guys because Brea was face guarded the whole time. Then all of a sudden, always getting into the paint, picking up that extra guy. Then all of a sudden you see him collapse down. Brea needs half a second.
Yeah.
Three's going up.
Yeah.
So you get that quick kick out, and then boom. Okay, we feel a little bit better. We got a little more cushion.
Yeah. One thing we've said about Kobe Bray all season, and it just was reiterated with some stats that we heard after the game Wednesday night. Kentucky is 10-0 in games where he has 3 or more threes. All right? If he plays like shit, Kentucky loses. If he plays well, Kentucky wins.
Yep.
So, I think that's, huge going forward. I don't know how Mark Pope is in the locker room. I don't know if that's a stat you want to show one of your guys. But if it is, you got to kind of bring it to his attention. Hey, we need you to be able to make a deep run when tournament time comes, and we need you to play well.
Yeah, we need you to step up and pull that shot and make that shot that you're okay, maybe I hesitate, maybe I kick this over and start swinging it around a little more.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to be just a little bit more aggressive, a little more selfish, because nobody on that team has a selfish bone in their body.
No. Which they've kind of calmed down a little bit on
A
the
little
passing than they were earlier in the season. But there's still times Kobe Bryant gets the ball, and it's like, brother, if you got a foot of space between you and the guy guarding you, you need to pull up.
Especially, like,
less than that.
Yeah, I mean,
like, just shoot it.
As long as he's not in your face.
Especially whenever you get that switch of having that 4 or 5 guy on you.
Yeah.
You know you can get that separation easy. Call for a little ISO. Get that separation. Take that shot. Even if it doesn't go in, I would rather see you try that shot a few more times.
Yeah.
But, you know, you still gotta take advantage of that.
Yeah, he needs to be shooting, I mean, bare minimum 5 or 6 threes a game just to see what happens.
For sure.
Because like you said, you know, get him in ISO like you seen in the Tennessee game. You know, he took guys, you know, one-on-one, step back three. He wasn't coming off screens. Like he would, you know, had the ball for the entire possession and created his own shot. So like if you're coming off screens, you get a little bit of space. You know, you're good enough to pull that up and put it in.
Yeah, he had a quick just inbound play, turnaround three, just off the catch, awkward angle,
Yeah.
turn around, heaved it, and it went in cash money. It's like, why don't we do that a little bit more often?
Yeah. Yeah, Kobe Bryant's shooting is definitely something that's going to be make or break for this team moving forward. One thing, too, Amari Williams. He's getting better.
Yeah.
I mean,
a lot better.
I would say Amari Williams may be our most improved player over the season.
Yeah. I could see that.
I mean, what did he go against Vanderbilt? 6 for 6?
6 for 6, 5 for 5 from the free throw.
I mean,
15, how many points did he have?
17?
17.
yeah, 17 points. I mean,
With no fouls.
yeah, 0 fouls, perfect from the field, perfect from the line. What? How many rebounds? 7?
6.
6. Yeah, 6 rebounds.
4 blocks, like
He's
he
doing
was
it all.
taking control.
I heard it was like the first player to do that since Paul Gasol for the Lakers.
Yeah, in like 2007
yeah,
or
something
something.
like that.
Yeah, I mean,
Crazy.
if you can get your 7-foot center to play and not foul,
Yeah,
and then
it's
also
pretty
give you points, rebounds, blocks, like, brother, that's going to be a team.
Yeah.
One thing, too, talking about guys that impressed us, Colin Chandler
He did play well.
came in, played well, yeah.
He looked he reminded me on just defensively a lot of Reed Shepherd last year, just getting in the passing lanes and just ending up with a ball in his hand somehow,
Yeah.
you know, and that's a really good way to earn playing time, you know.
Yeah. I think my best Colin Chandler moment from that game was, he's driving the lane, he's coming down, he's taking it strong, hits it out, hits a car in the corner,
Yeah.
and, gets that big three.
That was huge.
Yeah, I mean, that was a big
Huge.
momentum play.
Yeah, 'cause there was a moment there where we were like, what are you doing? Because he
Yeah.
was just going full head of steam in. Then everybody collapsed down on him like, oh, that shot's not going to be able to go up. And then you see it fly out the car. And you're
Yeah.
like, okay, maybe
Yeah.
he knows what he's doing. He's getting that rust off him real quick. And, playing 15 minutes. I was impressed with him the whole time he was on the court.
Yeah, no, I agree. And that's one thing about the Vanderbilt game that was kind of an outlier for this whole season. Mostly everybody played well with the minutes they got.
Mm.
The one exception, obviously, people talked about it all week. Brandon Garrison hasn't looked like he's improved much. It kind of is what it is with this at this point. You're pushing March. He's the player he is.
Yeah. I think he's a good body to have for foul trouble and
Yeah,
situationally, and he's fine. I think he'll be fine next year.
yeah. I think what Brandon Garrison really brings to the table for this season is he's an energy guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can see that.
He's high energy. If things are going well for him, he has a high motor. If things aren't going well, that's whenever he gets a little down, shoulders start drooping. But as long as he's playing well, he's a high energy guy for sure. But I think that'll be the biggest thing is just keeping him, locked in.
One stat we heard during the Vanderbilt game was we've only been healthy, full healthy roster, 7 games this season.
Yeah. Oh, man, that's tough, ain't it?
That's a rough way to look at it.
How many losses do we have, Gib? 8.
8.
Makes you wonder.
If this team was consistently healthy, what could have been?
Yeah,
I think we'd probably be in that five loss range probably.
I agree with that.
I don't think we're a whole lot worse than. sometimes the fans act like the sky's falling over a couple losses. College basketball is just really good now.
Yeah.
It's not. You can play, St. John's or teams like that, and used to it was like especially as a Kentucky basketball fan, we're about to smoke these dudes, and it's all about the money now. So
Yeah, everybody's getting better.
The talent is good. Everybody's got dudes.
Yeah. Looking back, the 8 losses we've had this season, I mean, we lost to Clemson straight up. I mean, I don't think you can really argue that.
Yeah.
We were without Lamont Butler that game.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, the style that Clemson played, we hadn't seen to that point in the season.
Yeah.
I think they were probably going to beat us either way.
First 2 road game, too.
Yeah. Ohio State, same thing.
Yeah.
I think they came out and, just kind of really got pumped. So I don't think much really changes there.
Nah.
Where I think the losses, dealing with injuries come in is I think, that first Vanderbilt game, we were without Carr at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's one that, you potentially end up getting back. Who else? There was
the Ole Miss game, did we have it?
I feel like Ole Miss, somebody was out, which we kind of got punked that game too.
Yeah, I mean, they just shut the lights out.
Georgia. Yeah, I mean, there's about 4 games, I think, this season that you're like, if we had either been fully healthy or if they would have came out, not expecting to win. I think some of those games they came out was like, we've beat Duke, we've beat Gonzaga, we beat Louisville. We can play with anybody in the country. And they came out and got punched in the mouth and kind of set the tone for the whole game.
Yeah.
I think Georgia was one of those games. I think Ole Miss was one of those games. Clemson was one of those.
What about Arkansas?
Gib.
We would have had Butler. You think that would have been a completely different game or no?
I don't know. I think Arkansas is just in such and Cal's great at this. Probably one of the best ever. Back against the wall, have to win. He's going to get it done.
Yeah, getting his team fired up. I mean, we've seen it. They played Auburn really tight the other night.
They have been a team that has been improving towards the later end of the.
Well, they're just better without Boogie Flan.
They really are.
They're way better without Boogie Flan.
Yeah, I've seen people talking about that on Twitter. Like Arkansas fans are like, one Arkansas fan said we're better without Boogie Flan. I mean, he was getting roasted in the comments by other Arkansas fans. It's like, that's the truest thing I've seen all year.
Yeah.
Arkansas is a much better team.
Yeah.
Not having to distribute the ball between 3 guys that are ball dominant.
Yeah. Boogie was extremely ball dominant, like way too much. A lot like Louisville with Pryor, like. Dude just wanted the ball in his hands a whole lot, and Louisville and Arkansas both got a lot better by losing a guy.
Yeah, no, I agree with that 100%. I think if Boogie Flan had played against Kentucky, Kentucky would have won.
Probably, yeah.
That was actually a big fear of mine prior to that game. Whenever he went down, a few weeks before that, I was like, this is going to be what kind of turns their season around, because now you have definitive roles.
Yep.
And I think that's the big thing whenever you get these young, talented guys on a roster. It's like, hey, we need to find definitive roles for these guys.
Mm-hmm.
There's something else I was thinking about, too, but it slipped my mind. Oh, yeah, I know what it was. Arkansas. They beat us, obviously. However, against Auburn, Big Z goes 0 for 10.
Yeah.
Like, dude lit us up, and then, comes out against Auburn, number 1 team in the country, and doesn't hit a shot. If you look at the stats from that Kentucky-Arkansas game, they played a complete, 180 from how they usually do.
Yeah.
DJ Wagner shooting 20% from 3 in the SEC, and then comes in and lights us up. Big Z lights us up. John L. Davis had been a complete no-show up to that point. So, I mean, I think that, is what it is. Not going to harp on the past, but if they play that game again tomorrow,
might happen.
Kentucky wins by 20. Which, might happen. SEC bracket, Kentucky could be a 9 seed in the SEC playing on Wednesday.
Yep. And if you look at it, it's a harder path to Sunday in the SEC tournament than it is to get to the Final Four.
For sure.
It really is.
Yeah, I mean, think about the SEC. If Kentucky plays on Wednesday, the last bracket I've seen, they're playing South Carolina.
Yeah. Who almost beat Auburn.
Yeah, South Carolina is currently winless in the conference,
but they're not very good. No.
They're better than the first team you're going to see in a 3-seed matchup.
We're going to see Chattanooga as the tournament started today.
Yeah, a 3 versus a 14 seed. Yeah. South Carolina's a lot better team than that.
Yeah, I think second round. I mean, you would I don't remember who it was. Mississippi State was in the second round, is who
Yeah.
it was, I think, and
Second.
Auburn in the third round, and then I think it was going to be maybe Tennessee potentially or Florida
Yeah,
Saturday. I mean, that's way harder path. Give me the Final Four every time.
yeah, for sure. Which, talking about Final Fours, I think that'll lead us into our game on Saturday. Alabama looking like a Final Four team, or are they?
I don't know. They're
Took a loss to Missouri the other night.
2-game skid right now.
Yeah. What do you think about Alabama taking that loss to Missouri? Did you get to tune into that game?
Sadly, I did not.
Oh, you didn't? That was a good. So, I don't know if y'all have seen this, but Missouri's coach gets on the mic. 1.5 seconds left. Do not rush the court,
Please.
please. We don't have $500,000 to give the Crimson Tide.
Yeah.
What do y'all think about the team having to pay the school that they offend against?
I think that's dumb.
You think it's dumb?
Stupid.
If you don't want them to do it, don't lose. Beat them.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see any problem with that.
Yeah. What do you think? So, like, if Missouri, Alabama, if they would have stormed the court, Missouri has to pay Alabama. Do you like that?
No.
No?
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay,
Alabama
don't
needs
lose.
to not lose.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you don't want to have to worry about getting the court stormed on you, don't lose.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
Why is it such a, penalty for fans to support their team?
I don't know. The only thing I could think of was insurance purposes if somebody rushes and somebody gets hurt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or
Wait
if they trample the
for
players.
Yeah.
Bama to get escorted
the
off
court.
the court and then rush it.
Yeah.
Like, come on. It's
Yeah. At what point are you allowed to rush the court and not be
Yeah.
fined?
Well,
Like, if you hang around for 20 minutes and then like 4 or 5 guys just
Yeah.
run on,
Yeah.
are you still getting that fine?
Probably.
Probably. It's hard to hold
Money
them
hungry.
back in that pop of the instantaneous buzzer, you know.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I mean, but then you get if Cooper Flagg gets trampled out there and breaks a leg or arm or something, and you got a whole situation on your hands. But,
Right.
I don't mind the fine. It's whatever. I think it's kind of funny they get fined, especially if it's like a rival beats or their rival, and then they gotta turn right around and get money from them. You
Yeah.
know?
I do like that better than how it used to be. It used to be like, in this case, if Missouri stormed the court against Alabama, they would just pay the SEC.
yeah.
That's,
I like paying the school
Yeah, I'd
better.
rather go to the school
Yeah.
versus, just go in limbo.
Yeah.
It's like getting fined by like the NFL or something. It's just gone. Just
Yeah. Never be seen
whatever.
again.
Yeah. It's different whenever it's like, oh shoot, this is helping out the other person.
Yeah.
But if
you
it's
just
really
brought down a
about
whole basketball player.
Yeah.
if it's really about the other person, then it's like,
Don't
all
lose.
right, yeah, get them off the court and then let us storm.
Yeah.
Like, because obviously at that point, it's not for insurance purposes.
Right. It's
You
just
know.
for fun police at that
It
point.
literally is what it is. It's not for any like liability by the state arena or anything.
Yeah.
If it's going to, the other team.
Right.
So
That's like whenever Vandy beat Kentucky in Nashville, back earlier in January, whenever it was. They stormed the court, and that was their third offense for that year. They stormed the field in football when they beat Alabama. They beat Tennessee like a few days before they beat us. So they had to give us $750,000.
gosh,
Whole basketball player they paid for.
Like, that's pretty good.
it is
It's
crazy.
pretty solid.
And it's like you weren't even affected 3 times. Is the thing though.
Right, but you're getting the benefit of,
Yeah.
Alabama kind of got screwed. They only got $250,000.
Wait, yeah, they did.
And then
Exactly.
Tennessee only gets $500,000. We got $750,000 just for being the third incident.
Yeah, that's wild. No, it shouldn't.
I think
go
it goes up to 4. I think it goes up to $1 million, and then after
Okay.
that, like they start like getting legitimately in trouble.
I don't know on that one.
I feel like I've seen that somewhere. I may be completely wrong,
That would make sense. That's a good
Yeah.
bar.
but I mean, $750,000 to get
That is
beat.
crazy.
That's kind of like the beginning of football season when you play these MAC schools and these nobodies. Like, hey, we're going to give you $1 million to come down here and play.
Yeah,
Like Kentucky, hey, you lose to Vanderbilt, but you're getting $750,000.
it's true.
And I do like we said, I like it going to Kentucky versus the SEC.
Yeah,
That makes a lot more sense.
it is just. I don't know.
It is a money,
Ruins it.
money
Yeah.
grab though too.
Yeah. It's weird. Yeah, I don't know about it. I feel like it should be like a flat rate.
Yeah,
It's chips,
yeah,
Yeah.
flat 100,000 each
Yeah,
time.
like it shouldn't go up. Like another school shouldn't benefit more just because it was the second time it happened. It still happened the same way.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy that they rolled it over from football season.
Yeah, that is wild.
Yeah.
Like I could see, if you do it multiple times in that season of that sport, if you lose, beat Tennessee, beat Kentucky, then those I could see that rolling over. But football into basketball in the same calendar season, that was kind of dirty.
Do you think it's conference based?
It is conference based.
It is?
Yeah.
So what if they played a non-conference opponent that was really good and you rushed to court on them?
Good question.
Like,
Yeah, like
it's Duke.
Yeah, Vandy beats Duke. They rush the court.
Yeah.
Is it $1 million?
Yeah, is it $1 million or is it nothing?
That's a good question.
I guess it would be. I feel like we'll just follow on whatever the ACC standard is, since it's an ACC team being the victim of it.
Does the ACC have a policy like that? I
I
wonder.
don't know, but they would probably be asking for $1 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we heard that's the going rate for the fourth
It's
offense.
Like, all right, yeah.
Like
Worth a shot.
just holding out their hand.
Yeah, for sure.
Wouldn't that be crazy though?
Wild, yeah.
What about in like March Madness?
Yeah, it's going to happen somehow. Like a little bitty school is going to like upset somebody, storm the court, and it's like, no, sorry, we're the SEC. You just beat.
You owe us $200.
Yeah, like we don't have $1 million.
You owe us $250,000.
Yeah, this
I mean, we
happens.
barely got to this game.
Yeah.
For real. I'm curious what would happen on that.
And yeah, you're already like penalizing a school that either didn't have enough funding to like pay certain players to come there or whatever, and they're already like fighting from the back there, a mid-tier team. Now you're getting penalized $750,000 that your program could definitely use
For sure.
because your team won and you're doing good.
Which I guess nobody rushes the court in March Madness.
No.
Oh, because it's always like
Yeah, it's
different.
always.
Yeah, it's not like a home crowd.
Yeah. That would be
Yeah.
wild to see a March Madness court rush though.
Yeah, no one usually cares because they'll play like 3 games at night.
Yeah.
The fans are so split up amongst every team.
Which that's like, Lexington is hosting the first round and second round or 1st.
I
Yeah.
think I think that first weekend.
Yeah, the first weekend.
Is
So it's like, Louisville and Kentucky aren't going to play there.
yeah, are they even allowed to play there? Probably not.
Probably
Kentucky
not.
can't. I don't know. Louisville probably could.
Maybe.
That would be interesting. That would probably, something like that. Or if it's at Louisville and
Yeah.
Kentucky plays or
I think
something
we
like
have
that.
played.
We have played at Louisville,
Yeah.
actually, yeah.
And I assume
It was the national championship year, wasn't it?
So yeah.
I think in 2012, the first round for us being the number 1 overall seed was in Louisville.
it had to be a lot of Kentucky fans in there, right?
Oh,
I
I'm
had
sure
to
it's
have
crazy.
But that's like, Lexington hosting the first and second round this weekend. Odds are Kentucky and Louisville aren't going to be there. But, like, we could just go.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, it's like just a mix of people that wanted to be there.
Do we need to be the cause of this money flying?
Let's just
Right?
Hold on a second.
we
Let's
get
fund the
zero
school.
penalty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's just storm the court on a random March Madness game. See what happens.
What I mean.
Be a
yeah.
5-man rush. Is that Russian?
Oh, if we started rushing,
People would
somebody
go,
else.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, could you imagine, though? Like, I don't know who's going to be in that bracket. Obviously, it's not come out. But let's just say Purdue's playing insert random team here. We just go grab some Purdue shirts real quick.
Yeah.
We get Purdue fined,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Then we can fund a team we like or something.
right?
Matt,
Hey. But
Easy.
that's payback for having Zach Edey all these years. We just cost you $500,000.
Yep.
Bums. That might be the...
Hate Zach Edey.
Could be the move.
Could be. Like, hey, St. John's maybe plays their first round game. We just buy whatever team Rick Pitino's playing.
Yep.
Rush the court. Ricky P, we got you, buddy.
Yeah, he's got a bag because of us.
At what? Yeah, I'm like Gibb too. At what point does it become a court storming and not like a court puddle? Like, at what
Yeah,
point do we
like,
bring the
obviously,
storm?
Somebody's got the number in their head, but I don't know.
Like, does the whole court have to be covered?
It's got to be 25 plus, I feel like.
Yeah, like 5+. That's a drizzle.
I'm just saying, if people see us running out there,
They're
they're running out
running.
there.
Yeah.
Somebody would run out there.
You know there's alcohol flowing.
Yeah.
You know there's frat boys in the stands. Somebody's going to follow us. Or somebody's going
Just
to
you
lead
have
the
a gun
charge.
on your way down. People will start
Yeah.
running.
Yeah.
He's got a gun.
Yeah.
Fire. Something.
Yeah.
Everybody starts running. It's a storm. And then there you go. Ricky P's got a bag.
Yeah.
We might have just cracked the code.
Then
Yeah.
we go get a picture with Ricky P.
Yeah. You
Like-
get him on the pod.
Get him on the
Yeah.
boys. We just figured it out.
Easy lick.
All right. So after this easy lick though, moving in, Kentucky, Alabama playing this Saturday. What time is that game?
6
6 o'clock. 6 p.m. What do we think about the Kentucky Alabama matchup?
Where's it at, Alabama?
At Alabama.
I hate to be that guy, but I don't know if you'll have a chance.
I mean, we potentially could not have a chance.
We potentially not have a
It could
chance.
be a 20-point game, or it's going to be like a 3-point game.
Every time we've said they didn't have a chance this year, they turn it on.
Right.
They really
I mean, I think we all three, me, Tyler, and Burke, need to obviously say they're going to lose.
Yeah.
Gibbs says they're going to win, and then we win.
Well, you look back at the first game. I mean, both teams really played about as good as you could ask. They were near almost identical stats all the way through the game. I mean, free throws, rebounds, points, field goal percentage, 3-point shots. It was all basically identical.
Yeah.
So I think it's just whichever team offensively doesn't show up because both, Bama's defense is really struggling right now.
Yeah. I'm glad actually you brought free throws up real quick. Obviously, Missouri beat Alabama. They beat them, by 10.
Yeah, something 12, 10 points, something like that.
They shot 41 free throws though.
Yeah.
I mean,
Who did?
Missouri.
Missouri?
Missouri shot 41 free throws, and Alabama shot like 21. I mean, that's a little bit of a gap right there.
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of sounds like the Georgia game for us.
Yeah, 41 free throws, that's crazy.
What was the final score? It wasn't even that far off, was it?
It was 110,
110 to 98, maybe?
Yeah.
110-98.
110-98. And I mean, so they shot 41 free throws. I think they made like 20, 28, 29 in the 20s. Gibbs getting the stat check on us. But I mean, that's a ton of free throws.
Yeah, it's a lot of free throws.
Yeah.
Obviously, the game at Missouri as well. So
41 for 47.
for free throws, oh God, I was way off then.
66%.
That math don't math, Gib.
31-47.
31 to
Yeah,
47.
my bad.
Okay.
A little dyslexia.
So, okay, they shot 47 free throws. That's even worse than 41.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they had 31 points there that they got at the free throw line.
That's a lot.
No, I mean,
They do have some really good guards that can penetrate and get to the rim, but that's still a ton.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
I don't think Kentucky nor Alabama, either one, is going to be shooting 40-plus free throws.
No, maybe threes.
Yeah.
And also, they had Alabama had 2 guys foul out.
Yeah.
So, that's going to make a big mood swing, especially towards the end of that game.
Yeah. So, obviously they got beat, but I think there may have been a little bit of home cooking there to get that win. Considering this game's going to be in Alabama, we're not going to get any of that.
Whiteout.
Yeah. It's going to be a T-shirt game, right?
T-shirt. 10,000 students get white T-shirts. What I seen. I think if Amari if he can just be tough against Grant Nelson, and really just kind of daddy him tomorrow. Most of the game, be physical with him. I think we'll be fine. Bama struggling defensively the way they are, even worse than they already were, and us getting quite a bit better. I mean, we went from like 119 2 weeks ago in net defense to like 68th or 69th or something like that. So we're growing defensively, and I think it's just communication more than anything, and the way we're attacking angles on screens and stuff like that. But I really think that we got a good shot tomorrow. I'm probably not going to pick us to win, but I think we got a shot.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, what do you think about the game tomorrow? What kind of sticks out to you as of right now?
Well, we need to basically use the same game plan. Get to the line.
Yeah.
Need Owe to go downhill, draw fouls.
Yeah.
Williams to get in the paint, pick up and ones. We need those extra points. And honestly, if we come out and both teams are shooting lights out, I think it's going to be first team to 100.
Yeah.
It's really going to pull that win out.
And then, like you said earlier, Otega Owe getting to the rim, Amari Williams getting into the paint, being big-bodied, that opens up all the three-point shooting that this team has.
Exactly. Like we need that paint to be open early.
Yeah.
So we can attack it, and then they get on their heels, until the 2-3 zone, collapse down on the paint, then all of a sudden, corner 3, wing 3, whatever.
Yeah, I agree with that. Well, I'm gonna put everybody on the spot here. Tyler, what do you think happens? Score, and I'll say MVP, but I don't think we're gonna necessarily project us to win at this point. But most outstanding player, win or loss.
For tomorrow?
For tomorrow, yes, sir.
I would say Kentucky is probably going to lose 93-82 is what I'm going to say. I think Carr's going to have another big game, continue getting back closer to 100%. I think he really complements Amari with the matchup versus Grant Nelson tomorrow. But I think Carr may be the MVP there for me. Maybe a little bit of Amari Williams. I think we see some Amari Williams point guard tomorrow to kind of alleviate that pressure that Mark Sears does put on the ball, which I think will help us. Even though I don't like not Ansley, but Amari dribbling up the court.
Makes me a little nervous.
Makes me nervous, but when he handles that point guard role, he actually has done okay with it.
Yeah, he really
not too
has.
bad, and it really cuts way down on our turnovers.
Yeah.
But yeah, 93-82 is what I'll say.
All right. Austin, you said we're going to take a loss. What do you think the score is going to be? I won't make you pick MVP.
Mine was very close to ours. I was just thinking 96-82.
Yeah? What about?
I think just being in Alabama
That's going to be tough.
kind of makes it a little harder.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, obviously, Alabama's already came to Lexington this year and got the win in another high-scoring game.
Yeah, what was it, like 100? They scored 100.
102, 97, I believe.
102.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I shot out 96, just because,
Yeah.
you know.
No, not a bad prediction.
Well, we'll throw this out there. I am excited to see, like, you look at the Tennessee game, which, we did sweep them, but
Just throwing that out there.
just throwing that out there. But the Vandy game, too, like, Pope really, 180 from the first Vandy game to the second. So, does he really make a big change towards, the second game against Bama? I really like to see his first opportunity against a major opponent to be like, all right, this is what we did. This is what we're not going to do again against these guys.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see how he adjusts for Alabama. Or if he does it all, he might not.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that is a good point. Is he going to come into this game thinking, we don't have Jackson Robinson. We don't have Lamont Butler. We don't need to do the running gun style that I want to. Maybe he looks at this game, kind of slows it down a little bit.
Very well could.
I mean, especially like you said, Alabama struggling on defense. Maybe you slow it down, make it more of a half-court game.
Control the pace.
Yeah. Yeah. Stuart, what do you think about this game if you had to pick a score?
I mean, it's definitely going to be a shootout, so it's going to be up there. I would probably say, Bama wins,
Yeah.
but I don't know if it's going to be by a lot. I would say maybe 96-90,
Yeah.
maybe something like that.
Well,
Close to 100. It's a shootout.
so you're saying 96-90. We'll talk more about this in the Picks podcast, whenever we talk about the spreads and everything. This game is like 7.5 is what the line came out for Alabama.
So I'm seeing an updated one that's 9.5.
Oh, so it's moved.
We're covering that.
Yeah, I don't think we're getting beat.
I would say it'd be tighter than that. And
Yeah. When it
what's the
came
money
out.
line?
Money line is minus 425 Alabama, plus 320 Kentucky.
Okay, I like that money line a lot.
Yeah. But yeah, whenever it came out this morning, it was Alabama 7.5. So I mean, 96-90. That that lines up pretty
Fairly
perfect.
close.
Yeah. What do you think, Gib? If we had to pick a final score and MVP.
Final score, I'm going to go 95-91.
Okay.
I'm going to pull a Cats on this one.
I like it.
Because we've said this plenty of times already throughout the season. It's hard to beat a team twice.
It is.
We managed to do it against Tennessee. I'm not saying it's impossible for it to happen to us. Get swept.
Swept Tennessee.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Just throwing it out there.
But, it is hard to go out and beat a team twice. I could definitely see us pulling out the win. I'm going to say my MVP is going to be Kobe Brea.
Yeah.
20-plus points. He's going to have to show up. He's going to have himself a game.
Gib, you kind of took the words right out of my mouth there, brother. I think if I had to go final score, I'm going to say 97-91 Kentucky. And I agree with you. I mean, I think Kobe Brea is the key to this game. 10-0 whenever he makes 3 or more threes. I think Mark Pope's going to have to lean into that. I think Kobe Brea has to shoot a lot. He's got to take a lot of opportunities whenever he gets them. It may not be his perfect shot that he's looking to get, but you're going to have to take some ones that you're not really comfortable with.
And one thing we're going to need to see is Almanor's going to have to step up.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to have to pull a couple more shots or either get in the paint. He's going to have to get a couple more touches, a couple more shots on the basket.
Yep.
And the Kentucky boys, Perry and Noah, they're both going to have to come out they're not going to have to drop a lot of points, but they're going to have to be
Make
a
an
menace
impact.
on defense. They're going to have to come out and be impact players
Yep.
for us to have a chance because, once we sub out 08, Brea, and we go to, the little younger lineup, the not so excitingly high scoring lineup,
Yeah.
we're going to have guys that, control the pace.
Yep. Keep up.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can't. You can't make that lineup change and then go down 10-0.
Right. Like, we're going to have to – we might be able to go down a couple points. Like, plus minus is going to probably be skewed with certain players out there. But they're going to have to keep us in the game for whenever –
Yeah, the starters
with
come back in.
Garrison.
Yeah.
Garrison's going to keep putting in work while Williams is out. Like, it's going to have to be everybody firing together.
I agree with that. One thing, too, you bring up Ansley Almanor. He is going to be a problem when he's about 50 years old in the driveway with some nephews.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's unk.
He is. He's starting to get to Kobe Bryant status for me on that corner to wing three.
Yeah.
And when he lets it go, I'm like, that sucker's in there.
Yeah, I don't hate seeing him shoot the ball anytime.
No.
I mean, anytime he touches it, if he's
really-
going up, it's going in.
I was really rooting for that 4-3 the other night that I predicted. We got 3 of them
Yeah. I mean, we were all hit.
all over it. Yeah.
Yeah, we were all over it on our Kentucky Prime Network predictions for Vandy. And I think, we were really close on the final score, a few of us, and then all spread out, which, the whole team played well, so that really helped us out. But, Kobe Brea, Ansley Almanor, Amari Williams, they all came through for us. Guys, I think that's going to wrap up our Kentucky Prime Sports podcast. If anybody has anything else.
Go Cats.
Go Cats. And one thing, too, we're going to shout out Burke real quick. He's wasn't able to join us tonight. He had a little ceremony he had to attend. So if Burke's listening to all 51 minutes of this, here's your shout out, buddy. We'll see you next week. Take it easy, guys.
Go Cats.